let's go into a little story time. So I watched a video on YouTube here recently about a guy that started a jiu-jitsu gym, and it eventually he eventually closed it down. It failed, but he had a lot of good insights onto why it failed, what went wrong, and he gave some insights onto if you're going to be doing the same thing, how to avoid these pitfalls. And I got a little bit of insights into this as well. Let's start from the beginning. We'll go story time. So when I first moved to Canmore, I had some jiu-jitsu training, like the Gracie Combatives DVD set I did with a buddy on the floor on a sprawled out sleeping bag. That's how I started jiu-jitsu. It was insane. And then I did some Japanese jiu-jitsu. That was cool. It was good for break falls. I was doing it on hardwood, so I learned how to break fall very well. Um, then did some kickboxing. Then we moved to Canmore, and in Canmore they had this little tiny jiu-jitsu club, and it was not really jiu-jitsu. It was out of a boxing gym. So the boxing gym had the ring, all the heavy bags, all the stuff was set up for boxing. And then over in the little tiny corner, there's like, I don't know, probably like a 10 by 10 square of jiu-jitsu mats. And that's where we trained. It was myself, and the coach was a four-stripe blue belt. And then I recruited a couple other guys, and me and my buddy. He started about a year after I'd been going, and well, maybe like 8 months. I bugged him hard, and he finally joined up. But eventually, like, and that was in 2013. And then in 2015, I was a three-stripe white belt, and the club closed down. The boxing club closed down. He shut down everything, and I looked at my buddy, and he was also a three-stripe white belt at that time. I was like, man, I don't want to quit doing this. I want to keep going. The coach, he was almost non-existent, so I'd been running a couple classes before that. It was only 2 days a week, and then when it shut down, I looked at my buddy. I was like, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. What can we do? And he's like, me too. So we got together and planned it all out. We went into Calgary under Champions Creed, talked with Brian Bird, and we're like, hey, bud, well, we didn't say, hey, bud. We're like, hey, coach, like reverence and stuff like that. And we're like, hey, would it be cool if we went under you and we like start our own club? And he's like, oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, I remember talking to him later on, and he was like, man, when you guys first started, nobody thought that you guys were going to go anywhere. You guys were white belts trying to start a club. And like that was the story of like Bow Valley Jiu-Jitsu. Was everyone was counting us out. Nobody had any, like, nobody was like, oh yeah, they're going to make it, they're going to do good. um, Lots and lots of people were counting us out, which, I mean, we were white belts, what do we know? But we did that. He said yes, and we became under Brian Bird Champions Creed. We went, bought like a couple grand worth of mats. We found some online, like on the marketplace. And then we found a little gym that had like a loft that had like a yoga lounge. So we would set up the mats every night. We would tear them up after class every night. It was crazy. Like, it was a lot of work because you have to clean them, wait for them to dry, then put them away. But yeah, we did that. Our first class was crazy. Like, we had probably about 20 some people in, and it was a free trial class. We spread the word to everyone, and we had friends of friends coming out. It was awesome that way. Um, but yeah, it was chaos. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. Um, we right from the very get-go, and this is something that if you're looking to start your own gym, highly recommend making this part of your credo is only teach what you know and what you use in like competition or whatever it is. Don't teach the bullshit that you just watched on YouTube. Don't go, oh, I know that move, and then go teach it. People will see through your bullshit. Doesn't matter if they're brand new or if they're like a little seasoned, they're gonna see through your bullshit. Make sure that you're only teaching what you know. So our first class, it was chaos. It was okay, but like we didn't know what the hell we were doing. At the end, I mean, we kind of let the students take over for us, which that was the only class that we allowed that, because after that we were like, okay, that was crazy. One of the guys was like, he suggested, hey, let's all sit in a circle and share one thing about ourselves, and like it was like this kumbaya kind of thing. It was weird. Like jiu-jitsu is weird enough, but yeah, it was like, no, we don't need to do that. We just end the class and go. We had cake and everything. Nobody ate the cake. Everyone just like pieced out. That was the first class. It was weird, crazy. Uh, but after that, we learned a lot of lessons. Only teach what you know. Don't teach bullshit. Don't let the students take over the class. Um, Always listen to the students and be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we might be able to do that next class. We might be able to like touch on that in the future. Um, Next little piece of advice is write out a curriculum. Have in mind like 6 months, like 2 weeks of guard passing, 2 weeks of takedowns, 2 weeks of defending takedowns, whatever it is. But have a curriculum in mind of what you want to teach and make it so that you can change it. Say the tournament's coming up or someone's like, man, I don't know how to do a takedown and I'm in this tournament. Well, you should probably change it up a little bit and get some takedowns in leading up to that tournament so that they don't feel lost or out of place in there. So make a curriculum, but make it so that you can change it up and give students the knowledge that they're needing in the upcoming months. And I would say pen to paper. Like, don't, lots of people write it in their notes on their phone, and that's fine. Uh, Personally, I think pen to paper, because it's a physical act of writing it out, legitimizes it a little bit more in your brain. It makes you go, okay, well, I took the time to grab the pen, grab the book, write it out, all that stuff. I'm going to keep myself accountable to it. So that goes for note taking. That goes for like if you go to a seminar, write it out, pen to paper. It goes, you do it physically, and then you go back and you do it like you have to mentally remember how you did, what went on, what was taught, and then you go back and you have to do it physically, writing it out again. So I would always recommend handwriting notes, and then yeah, write out a curriculum, make sure that it's able to switch around, move in and out of places, have fun with it. Um, that leads me into my next point. Have fun with your classes. Don't be the stiff guy that knows everything. If you don't know something, let them know that you don't know, and then go research it. Go watch. There's a million videos. I got almost 300 videos on here. Watch something on there. If I don't have it, thousands of other people have it. Go look it up, then play around with it, then teach it. Okay? Don't just go, oh, I've watched it on YouTube one time, I know how to teach it. No, they'll see through your bullshit. Have fun with it. Joke around. People relate to that. If as long as you have a sense of humor, it'll work. If you don't have a sense of humor and you're pretty stiff, well then do it that way. That's the way that you want to go. Sorry, just looking at something. But take it as a business. I was doing this, so we started in 2015 as 3-stripe white belts. A couple months later, it was like 4th stripe, and then we got our blue belts about 6 months later. That still wasn't like a legitimized thing to make a teacher out of you. We were still teaching what we knew, but man, that was hard because I was competing a lot too. I love competing. I've been competing as long as I've been doing jiu-jitsu. So getting that blue belt showed a little bit of legitimacy, but it's still, a lot of people expect you to be a black belt when you're teaching, and we weren't there. And we went, I got purple belt. It was just coming into October. I was getting super fight, and the guy was like a legitimate purple belt, under always trained with black belts, and everyone was like, count me out. That's actually where Dark Horse comes from, because one of the newspapers like, oh yeah, the Dark Horse of this super fight is this guy. He's a blue belt going into it. He doesn't train with like any black belts. He's the instructor. It's crazy. But I ended up winning that. And it was a great little match. It was a great little testament to what we did. And we ended up winning like a team trophy as well. So it showed that what we were teaching was legit, and we just kind of built momentum from there. I got my purple belt a week before that super fight. Just so I don't, I guess we both earned it, but yeah, it was cool to have that. And then from there, we, what was it? It would have been 2018. I ended up buying the business off my buddy. I went 100% owner of it. I was still a mechanic. I was a mechanic up until about almost 2 years ago. So I was full-time mechanic, full-time business owner of running the club, and that's a lot. It's a lot of work. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're so lucky you get to just run the club and do this. You're so lucky." And it's amazing how much luck you have when you work hard, when you work your ass off for something that you want, something that you love. Um, I truly believe in working hard to get the things that you want. So if it's something that you want to do, if you want to run a gym, if you want to run a club, if you want to be the jiu-jitsu instructor, work your ass off, work hard, put time into it, time and effort. Don't just sit on your phone and play games. Use it as a tool. Uh, on your phone, look at making sure like your Instagram and your Facebook are up to date. Make sure that you're posting quite a bit, letting your community know that you're here. If you start out like how we did as like low-level jiu-jitsu people, you need to get yourself out there. Look at the Facebook community groups and look at like Instagram community groups and stuff like that. Get in there, start talking, be like, hey, you bring a friend, you get a free class. Make competitions out of like memberships. So if, say, someone brings a new member in and they get a membership, cool, you get 2 free days added to your membership, right? Make an incentivized thing to get people into the club. So many times people get addicted to jiu-jitsu and they're talking to all their friends. They're like, oh yeah, you should come try it out. You should do this. And then they start looking and they see prices. They're like, I don't know. They're not convinced. So then tell your buddy, be like, hey, if you get them in, I'll give you 2 free classes or something like that. Like, make sure that you incentivize getting your club to grow. Then from there, like, just keep up. Keep up giving people to post. So take group shots at the end of class. Tag everyone that you know so that they can repost it. Once they start reposting it, you might get hits off of that too. So that's a great way to expand your business without costing you anything because social media is fairly free. Taking out ads is an okay thing. Like if you're doing a beginners only course, then I would suggest like maybe taking an ad or something like that. And then, yeah, let's come back to the story now. So we had moved out of that yoga studio. We got our own place. We started renting our own space where we didn't have to tear up the mats anymore in 2018. Had a permanent mats down on the ground. That was awesome. We started putting up wall mats. That lasted for about 2 years, three. Oh no, even more, 3 years. And that was great. It was a great little location, but we eventually grew out of it and we had to find another one. That's where we're at now. We found this one 7 months ago, and this is like the most beautiful location that I could have ever guessed. I'll show you around here afterwards. But yeah, it is a grind. Up until about almost 2 years ago, I was full-time mechanic, full-time jiu-jitsu instructor. Then I just went both feet into jiu-jitsu instructor because I felt like I had enough people. That was before I got this space. I got this space that cost me a decent amount more, but we're filling it up, and yeah, we're making it work. It's great. If you can do it, if you have the drive, highly recommend it. I mean, you can build such a great community off of it, and that community, it takes your little jiu-jitsu or kickboxing or MMA community and expands into the larger community. If you know me, if you've been watching the videos, if you come train with me, if you've taken a seminar from me, I'm huge on building community. I love it. I love building like the kids and having them go out and like talk about how great Dark Horse is. Same with adults, everyone. Build your community, keep building it. I love my community. I love that my community goes out into the grander community of the Bow Valley, like Banff, Canmore, Exshaw, Deadman's, all these ones around here, and like talks positively about us. Yeah, build your community, get it going that way. And then let's see here, like, about, oh, coming back to the story, we moved to this location, or no, right before we moved to this location, like a couple months before that, I got my black belt. No, about a year before that. So I got my black belt eventually. Took a long time. I went independent at the brown belt, so I got my brown, went white, blue, purple, brown, all under Champions Creed. And it just was a mutual agreement between myself and Brian that I wanted to go out on my own, do my own thing, teach my own stuff. And he was like, yeah, man, I understand that. And yeah, I just went out on my own thing. So I'm completely independent now. I don't have an affiliation. Yeah, it's just straight Dark Horse martial arts, which best for me. I love it. I love being my own little independent thing. I train everywhere. I try to get as much instruction wherever I go. Then, yeah, I got my black belt from Drew Weatherhead. It was a surprise. My brown belt under me, he set it all up. He's like, man, you need your black belt. You need to have it. You need to get it for the club. And I was like, I don't really care about belts. I just want to teach. I just want to keep doing my thing. And yeah. So he eventually set it up where Drew Weatherhead of like Because Jitsu fame came out, and I instantly walked out. I was like, oh, all right, I see what's going on. And yeah, it became a little seminar, got promoted at the end of it. I loved it. It was a good little get together. So I got my black belt under Drew, and then yeah, from there just been rock and rolling as Dark Horse Martial Arts. If you're ever looking at rebranding, man, it gets expensive. Like it used to be Bow Valley Jiu-Jitsu. Now it's Dark Horse. Yeah, rebranding's expensive. So if you're ever thinking of that, make sure to budget for it. Other than that, man, do what you love. Get after it. Don't be like, oh man, I wish I did this. No, do it. Get after it. Put all of your heart into it. Make it work for you. I'm going to show you around the club right now. So these are my wall mats. These are actually from the original like Bow Valley Jiu-Jitsu, the ones that we had to tear up. Put them up on the wall. Look at these beautiful mats all the way down. I love it. Like I got all my Muay Thai pads. If you want to see something really cool, wow, okay, cool in my opinion, this, where am I? Right there. These are my original belts. So that's my original like white belt. The black on it is actually like black hockey tape, because the original one that I had had nothing. So we put black hockey tape, so we could put white one, and then original blue, original purple, brown, my black one. What else we got going on up here? So all the belly pads and stuff like that. And then look at this. Look at that view. That's got to be the most gorgeous view that you'll ever find at a jiu-jitsu club. If you find a better one, send it to me. I want to know what it looks like, because I think that I have one of the best views. I'm from here, got all the medals, belts. That one, all these are mine except for like the, oh, I almost got it. That guy, that's my brown belts. Carter, he won that at blue belt absolute. And that one is Avon's from is it the Gi Absolute? All the rest are the clubs of mine. Look at that view. Look at the mountains. Oh man, absolutely gorgeous. So if you're ever coming out, stop on in. We love visitors. We want everyone to come out and have a good time. If you're ever in Banff or Canmore, stop on in. And then other than that, if you have any questions, hit me up. I want to help you guys out. If you're like, man, I want to start my own club, let me know. I'll do whatever I can to help you guys out. And then, yeah, from there, like and subscribe. I'll hopefully like put a little thing down over here hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you want more videos like this, let me know. We'll make it work. Have a good one. Catch you on the flip side.